Alright guys, let's say that we have the following application here. It's simple, we are adding to-dos, we can remove them and toggle them on and off. Right now I would like to demonstrate how we can use environmental variables so that we can configure which part of the application can be present in our final bundle. So for this, let's go to the code. And as you can see here in this form component, we have this button add to do, and let's say that we don't want to have it present at certain configuration options. So for this, Angular offers an environmental file. Okay, so we can type ng generate environments in order to create the environmental files. And as you can see, inside of source environments we have production and development environment. So if we go there, we see that this is just a simple object where we can pass parameters. So for example, we can say add to do, let's say, and we can specify it to false. And this will allow us to include the environmental configuration and based on it to render the component. Inside of the form component in the TypeScript file, we just need to import the environment. Okay, so I'm importing the environment and then I can use it. And something useful about those environments, basically we have angular.json file and then we have configurations. Some of the configurations are for when we are running development via the command ng-serve, and some of them are when we're building the project. So when we are under development, we are replacing basically the environment. So our environment.ts file will be replaced with our environment development.ts. So when we specify our options in the development.ts, they will go directly within this environment.ts file. And then if you had remembered, we are importing the environment, but this will be the development environment. And that's important to know. This is for build, and then we have for the serve, where you can also have different options and configurations and file replacements, of course. In practice, this means that you can have here multiple environments and you can configure them to be used within your application. Okay, it's imported, but let's use it directly in the component. So I'll just create one variable env, which will be equal to this object that we just imported. And now we have access inside of our component to this env variable. So I can go in the HTML and I can see the value of env. And let's grab it as a JSON and re-render. And we see that our option add to do is false. So we can just use ngIf. So I'll type ngIf. I'll use just the property environment dot and it's called add to do, and if this exists I'll show the button. So I'll just wrap it this ngIf inside of the button. Okay, this is with small letter. So the meaning of this is if we have option add to do in the environmental file, the button will show, and if of course it should be equals to true. So now, since we are using false, when we go to the browser, we see that we don't have the button. Of course, we can move this if directly to the whole div. This way, we are disabling the adding of the items altogether. Now, if we go to package.json, we will be able to see that when we are starting our project, depending on how we are starting it, we can add configurations, and exactly this configuration option will read our production or development file. We can specify, for example, in the ng start, which configuration we would like to read. And now if we go to the development configuration, we can save this to true. And if we run the project with npm run start, we should be able to read from the development configuration and to see our add to do showing. So you saw how easy it is to configure environments. We need just to scaffold them. We can specify options inside, and then of course we can use those environmental options inside of our components in order to show, preferred versions of the code. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the tutorial, you can subscribe to the channel.